shape rather than line. And I know an awful lot of really good artists who, you know, the inker has to kind of tighten everything up because they draw their lines with multiple lines.
Yeah.
You know, shaping, you know, and I think, frankly, while that doesn't translate to a finished cartoon or comic page, it's a way for artists to work out the shape, volume, the weight on the page. In sketch form, obviously, that's what they're doing because they're working quick. Jason?
Yeah, I find that, you know, using like a blue line first, kind of lightly going over what, you know, and I literally draw like, you know, like almost a skeleton where it's like, you know, like breast line or waist line, like, you know, where crotch comes down, like legs, and just kind of like figure out how I want this stuff to kind of work, you know, and then I just start refining, you know, like I get tighter and tighter on how things, you know, like her costume's gonna come up, and then I'm gonna need, so on this one, I think you can see this, so I would want to put like a frame here, but I'm gonna have her actual wings breaking out of the frame just to kind of make it dynamic, you know?
Yeah.
Creates a three-dimensional effect.
So, yeah, I tend to just do this sort of thing where I'm just kind of, you know, kneecap goes here, you know.
Yeah.
You can always, you know, erase, clean up, you know, headache. What's your name?
Amanda.
Amanda, did you want to draw comics or illustrations or?
I'm good at illustrating. Right now I do a lot of pencil work, so I'm trying to like go over with like pens and just making line arts and stuff and doing like line characters and everything.
Are you interested in drawing comics?
Yeah, like I definitely like. I find that I can't sit down and just write like a novel. Like I love writing stories, but I can't write a novel. I can do short stories fine, so I figured if I can create the two.
There are no shortage of novelists who can't write a novel either. I will name no names. Anybody else have thoughts or questions, or Amanda, if you have more questions about the art itself, feel free to ask.
I have a question. How hot does Blaze get? I mean, how fast could she evaporate a lot of water?
Well, that's interesting.
It's as fast as it needs to be, yeah.
Because I'm just thinking if we're doing a cultural thing and you have Tormenta and they kind of storm powers and we get monsoon storms, could she do something to save some
she could
people?
create a warm front. I'm not joking. I mean,
or, you know, evaporate like a flash flood from washing a family in the car down the road?
I mean, it can kind of be like dependent on the writer, because like Wolverine's healing ability is all dependent on who's writing it.
but yes, I would say that because she's new, and because you suggested a cool scene, she has enough heat. Her heat is hot.
Because I was just thinking,
Hot heat.
you're thinking cultural and something where she could save somebody from a real disaster.
Like you said, a flash flood in
Phoenix, I mean, Arizona during the monsoon.
even at the edge of the desert.
Sounds about right.
Oh,
I like that.
do you think she could have like a wall of dust around her, like I've seen come in? Well,
I think Tormenta can do that. She can stir that up. I think she did.
the other
It's
thing,
not about her doing it.
the other thing I remember from growing up in Phoenix was on the playground there'd be these devil dust storms. You know, they're like little tornadoes.
I have to say, as a person who grew up elsewhere, it's one of my favorite things about
The devil's dust storm.
Look up and watch the dirt absorb the entire world for a few minutes.
Yeah, it knocked some friend of mine over. Once.
really?
Oh yeah, it was that
I
strong.
always kind of figured being inside is the best way to handle it. But
Oh, no, it's like getting hit.
It's not possible.
It's like getting hit with a sandstorm. You know.
Well, I do know that they get so little rain here that when it does rain, you know, even people like in BMW drive around like they can't figure out what's happening.
Oh yeah, it's true.
What is this? What is this? Oh my gosh, water!
They don't slow down either, by the way, or use their brakes right.
I come from the cold belt. I grew up in Chicago on the lake, and even people who lived there longer than I couldn't figure out how to drive in snow. So I get a little snobby about it. I think I can handle weather, but I also think it's best to stay inside
Yeah,
when the dirt devil takes over the world.
That's
It's
a good
pretty
one.
awesome, I have to say, in terms of natural phenomena. I think it's an awesome fact.
sounds like a villain, Dirt Devil.
Dirt devil, there you go. Dirt devil.
It's Tormenta's white.
Either that,
Oh yeah,
either that or it sounds like a product. Right?
Dirt Devil. It is, by the way. I think they have a little vac.
This stairway.
I think it is a product.
In my world, all commercials are.
No,
Dirt Devil.
I remember Francisco doing it. So
Yeah,
I just think
yeah.
him.
So, yeah, try to exploit her as well as possible. That was rude. He's a friend and he might even be here, I'm not sure.
He does very cheesecakey drawings and he knows it.
And he does them really well.
He does them extremely
I think
well.
it's defensive in that.
I draw Lucha Libre comics, so my women are very thick.
He's mad at me.
Yeah, because you were like, when have you ever been censored? I remember that whole conversation.
You do.
That was so
That's
cool.
right. Who censored you?
Who did it? Tell me.
Show me on the dollars.
Show me the video. Anybody else have thoughts or questions about art or about
Yes, sir.
art character? Yes, sir.
Has anybody drawn anything that really, kind of like Batman standing on a, standing on a gargoyle, establishing that he's in Gotham? Has anybody done a drawing of this character in something that establishes that she's in Phoenix? Maybe her on the convention center?
Good point.
Convention Center is interesting. Do we have any monuments or
Westward Ho?
Westford Hall?
Hotel, yeah,
No,
the
no,
I did
by the
a,
radio tower.
Camelback Mountain.
I like Trotting Park. Is always a fun thing for me. That's the Trotting Park. It's
Oh, yeah.
the racetrack out on I-10. That used to be way the hell out there. That's like now just the edge of town.
Yeah. Oh,
That's some great movie architecture.
on, I think it's Roosevelt Street, you know the mural with the blackbirds flying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Beautiful mural.
iconic, I think, especially in downtown Phoenix.
We don't have any, like Cleveland has the Statue of Columbus, and, no, Columbus has the Statue of Columbus. Cleveland has a statue of somebody in Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. Cleveland from the Cleveland Show.
From the Family Guy, yeah.
You know what Cleveland has? Cleveland has, especially for, I'm surprised none of the comic book people picked up on it, is their Union Station.
Oh, is the Hall of Justice?
Yeah, it's what the Hall of Justice is based on.
Oh, with the cartoon, right, yes, they do. Well,
Oh,
it's
the,
already been done.
Phoenix usually uses the symbol of the phoenix bird, sometimes a saguaro cactus, a sun, or a cactus
Right,
wren.
I'm just wondering if we had a local landmark. I agree with you for iconic.
Yeah, I think the closest I can think of is the Camelback Mountain, but,
Camelback.
I mean, I was
It'd be
born
nice if we
here.
had a statue of somebody. No idea who.
Yeah, just the statue of the, they had a statue of the phoenix bird that was kind of
There
famous.
is some public sculpture.
Yeah, that's right,
Stuff
but it's not that, it doesn't.
Memorable.
Yeah, I think the answer is it really doesn't.
It does. Well, that's a good thought. With some sort of iconic Batman-esque
Yeah.
blazing atop
Yeah,
Hotel Ohio.
all I've ever seen is either a phoenix bird, outline of a cactus wren, a saguaro cactus, and that's it.
A couple of years ago, I found a photograph of George
I know
Reeves
that little
as
castle.
Superman.
Oh, yeah.
The
Oh,
castle.
the castle on I-10 as well.
Yeah, that would probably be the most, because recognizable thing.
It's easy to fake, as I recall, because there's no straight lines.
Yeah.
It's done very quickly with the left hand. It's very oddly shaped, almost like a birthday cake or a wedding cake.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and
that,
it's-
yeah, the wedding cake house.
It looks like a big old cake at ASU.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit further away than
It's okay. Depends on what these guys can fake.
Yeah, they call it the wedding
Birthday
cake house.
Is something easy to fake.
Yeah, that castle.
Anyway, I was saying, I found a picture of George Reeves dressed as Superman in Phoenix, standing atop the Hotel Carlos, is it? San Carlos? Also
Perhaps.
downtown, about a block away from
Yeah.
Idaho. What is it?
Westbrook?
Westbrook Ho.
Oh, that one, yes.
No, San Carlos, the
That's a
hotel.
different one, yeah.
Yeah, the Hotel San Carlos is like central.
And there's a photo of him in Superman with the cape blowing, standing atop the Hotel San Carlos.
That's
From
good,
a
yeah.
Appearance he did like in 1955 or something. Pretty damn awesome to recognize, the skyline a little bit, or at least as it was in the 50s.
With him there especially.
With Superman, not just George Reeves, who was
Mhm.
You can watch
Superman I
it.
grew up with, but also just the idea that there's Superman standing iconically, as we're talking about, atop the hotel.
It's, yeah.
Other than the sign, however, it's just a roof, unfortunately. It's not, there's no gargoyles or,
Yeah, I'd say the Hyatt would be the most unique hotel top we have in downtown Phoenix, that round thing that's just, on the other side of Symphony Hall.
oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Also
That's
very
been around
tall.
for a long time, but it's not super tall.
Well, I'm sure, but it's taller than the surrounding area.
Yeah.
We don't have a
You can see
full
it
lot
coming.
tall. We could have
You
it
can see
standing
it
on a
coming.
basilica across the street, I guess.
you know, that and the Westward Ho are probably the only two real iconic things in the skyline.
Westward,
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
saying
say,
hype,
other
I'm
than the
having
church
one.
that's been there for a really long
In
time.
Connecticut, there's a hotel now, I don't know why.
Oh, I like that building that looks like
Owned by the-
an old punch card for a computer, that curved building that has the.
Oh, yeah, it's on Central and Thomas, yes.
Yeah.
I think Thomas, yeah, or Osborne maybe.
That one's got a lot of character.
I had a question. I just, in one of the classes, first time I did a lot of Photoshop, but we're using a stylus, you know, like a Wacom.
Barber's class?
Pardon? No,
Tony Barber?
no, this is a friend of his, Photo, his name. He's here at he's
Oh,
a guest.
Photos, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm taking his class, and he does comic strip illustrating and coloring in Photoshop is the class, and he's really good at it, by the way. I take him again and again. I do, you know, when I can. But yeah, and I've met him here again. But first time I'm using a Wacom. What I would usually do is scan the drawing and then touch it up on a light table, then scan it again in color. But so I'm getting used to the stylus or the pen, and I noticed that there are computers where you can draw now directly on the screen, tablets easily. Which one would you recommend? With my credit card, I can get some.
It's dependent on what you want. I just started, I take forever to like draw in the sketch.
Yes.
So like all these are gonna be garbage because usually I'll spend like 5 or 6 hours on a sketch. And I just started doing digital stuff. I
Yeah.
got I can't remember what it's called now. It's like an off-brand Wacom. It's like normally Wacoms are like $1,200 to $1,600. And I got,
Is it monoprice?
yeah, I have a monoprice. I got it for $600 off of Amazon. And it's perfect. It's not touchscreen or anything, but it's perfect for what I need. And I've been using that to like digitally color stuff.
You use a stylus as well?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Wacom?
Yeah, but I don't draw on it. I can't draw on it at all. Like I'll use it to color, I'll use it to make vector imaging in Illustrator, but to actually like sketch something out, like I still prefer pen and paper.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and then the
How
scan.
many people here actually are hearing this as Portuguese? Or at least a language you don't speak?
So it's like a really big
All
iPad,
your
like a super big iPad to draw on.
I had a Cintiq, the actual like 36-inch one, and it's I tattooed for a living for a long time, and so there's a weird disconnect when you're tattooing where you don't actually see where the tip hits the skin. You just kind of
Right.
get like you figure out how the distance. Eventually, you just have a feel for it. I don't think I ever really got that with Cintiq. Plus, I've been drawing in Illustrator for so long that it was hard for me to make the adjustment to actually not using the pen tool in Illustrator and starting to use essentially a pencil tool or something that's following it. I'm used to mouse and pen tools. It's all basic curves and
Right.
so like I do my entire comic book that way with just a pen tool and a mouse. Like I draw it by hand to pencil it and then scan it in, and I do everything's vector art. And I guess it's just all what you feel comfortable with, like what feels natural, what you really want to learn, what your desired effect is. Like my comic looks like an old '60s comic, and so to do that, I need to affect it in different ways than if I was just sketching it essentially. I have a couple of, like the Adobe Draw program for my iPad, and I mess around with it, but it's never anything that I feel is finished art when it's done, so it's doodles for me. But I know guys who do tremendous work that way. So,
Yeah.
It's hard to say like the one is better than the other. It's just kind of whatever your desired effect is.
Yeah.
Well, there's
You get past the fact that your pen doesn't actually never really touch where the ink is going down. And
Yeah, that's it.
eventually get used to it, I guess. But
It's sort of like you draw here and you have to look over there to see what you're doing, right?
yeah, that would take me time to get used to.
Screen anymore.
yeah.
Well, let me, while the guys are drawing, let me have some conversation with you all. How many people here are artists or want to be artists?
Oh, I should raise my hand.
Back then, I know you're taking classes.
Yeah.
Did some of you guys, one of you guys back there?
I just kind of dabble.
You have an interest, passing interest?
I make up a bunch of stories, I tell them to get some crazy.
And does he draw any of them? Does he draw any of them?
No.
Oh.
You guys gotta get it together.
So,
So what's another one? What was another one?
We had the iconic posing on top of
Oh, yeah.
a landmark, and you could.
Can I do Tormenta instead?
Oh, that's what Which was that? I mean, the gentleman.
So,
Let me draw people in. Young lady over here in gray. Are you interested in art or are you just killing time?
No, I came in with my daughters who are interested in art and got distracted by something else.
Were they the ones wearing the
Yeah. The enemy.
enemy? I feel like we're in a game right now. With,
Yeah.
music playing.
Yeah.
I think there's a gaming thing happening. Could
So
you-
good Mario.
Did you sign that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, there's a 8-bit move, music theory. That's all.
What are we talking about?
The music is 8-bit music theory.
Oh, okay. Can you translate that?
So like old video games were.
That's right.
Like
Could you translate it to dumb guy for me, please?
Yeah, they had a picture of, they had a interface of the old Donkey Kong, and they're playing the music.
You should have said Popular or something.
I know.
You messed up.
So are you willing to?
I'm super
give yours
close.
away as
Yeah, let me,
when you finish? I'm not trying to rush it.
Well, wait a minute, just dawned on me. For Phoenix, Arizona has the Grand Canyon as a symbol, doesn't it?
Anybody else want to give
Yeah,
suggestions?
it's
Because the
supposed to be
people who
from Phoenix,
suggest
so.
get the art.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to throw suggestions? I know we got one for you in green.
I was gonna say, instead of a car, maybe she was saving kids from school,
Oh,
school bus from the flash.
so using her heat
Her
to
heat to save a school bus.
to
from
to
kids.
to push the flash flood.
To evaporate the flood away or not let it hit them or what.
Part the-
whatever,
part the
however she
sea.
do it.
You know, there's,
We'll wait for
Because
Jason
after
too.
being on the freeway and having that wall of water come towards my car.
Oh, you've seen this in
It's
life.
pretty it's pretty
I-
frightening.
I don't doubt
It
you
happens
for a
fast.
second.
And it happens really fast. I was coming around the I-17 and all of a sudden, I luckily was going to the 10 and I saw this water coming down the freeway and it was like, and they shut it off and they were like, yeah, cars got stuck in it. And it was just like, it was crazy. That's why I thought about it.
Whoa, no,
Yeah,
that's,
so it's very cultural into this area.
are you guys getting that?
I didn't even know that happened here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A flash flood. And
And all our streams become,
Blaze using her heat to dissipate the flood before it washes away a car or a school bus or something. Remember, if you give us good suggestions and they get strong, we get the art. That doesn't happen every day.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere to see the original Blaze comic?
Mm-hmm. It's online, isn't it? There's a PDF of it.
There's a PDF. It's available as part of the open source, right?
Because yeah, this character, like you can
the very first one.
take
Create
this
your
character
own.
and create your own comic book, create your own novel, whatever with it. It's completely.
It's open source.
Mhm.
I don't know the name of the open source, but I bet you if you Google Blaze, Phoenix, open source, you will find it.
I was there for the first year they did this. I sat in most of the panels when they created the character, and then I missed actually getting the comic.
And that was
That was the very last minute, as I recall.
Yeah.
Yes, they rushed to the very, from what I remember, they rushed to the very end to get some printed.
We killed about an hour, as I recall, waiting for it to come back from Kinko's.
Like that novel.
Is that right? But I was very funny, by the way. I made it pass quickly and you enjoyed every second of it.
Yes.
I think that thing has grown maybe a quarter of an inch since you got it.
Quit monitoring it.
You need some more? Will that eventually be food you can harvest?
Sure.
Okay, why not? Why not?
I would become vegan. Coffee is so expensive.
That's right. You can grow sustainable crops on your head. Why not? The future is yours. So can we see what he's doing with this, the reaction shot, physical, and then the close-up expression, which is very phenomenal.
Like she's getting lit up from
From the flames.
All right, I'm calling that a day. Sorry, this is not my best.
No, it's very good. I like it.
I'll sign it for you.
Please do.
oh,
You see all that? All right, we can hold it up a second. So, what were the other one? There was the kids getting rescued from a bus. We drove more small people in that.
Using her heat to stave off the flash flood.
Okay.
About to wash away the car or whatever.
Okay. All right.
I don't want you to draw what you, maybe just have a couple of people who are cowering rather than a bus.
Okay.
This was you guys, right?
Yeah.
So you say, no, I'll hand it to you. You get to say, thank you, Gonzo.
Do I have to come up with it? Yeah.
So far away.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
I'm the guy with the bad back who walks normally with a cane. I can do it. Don't know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other suggestions?
I was trying to think of like posturing, how I can have it.
Well, I think one of the things we're known about is the sheriff, and
Oh, no, we don't.
oh
we're
no,
not
no,
going-
it would start to look like a Porky's adventure.
Yeah.
One of that kind, but again, without killing yourself.
The other thing, you have a problem here with urban sprawl, getting around. If your car breaks down or you have to wait for the bus in the summer.
I didn't announce that this was a time to complain about Phoenix.
Well, I was hoping the superhero could take care of that.
Maybe if we did have a superhero, you could melt half of the traffic, right?
Well, yeah. Or just give you a ride on the bus, somewhere, transportation.
Well, bus drivers can do that too.
Well,
They're
that's
heroes.
your
They're
hero.
heroes too.
Right, in many ways, yeah.
Our very good friend of ours now drives a bus,
Oh, does he?
Derek.
Yeah, I figured this much.
No way.
If I knew anybody who drove a bus.
Yeah, he drives a Phoenix bus now,
I'm gonna get on that bus.
which oddly enough, if you go check out the, traffic cams, you can see the bus sort of waving in and out of traffic. Occasionally you see him having to do this, the test. Yep, it's a full-time gig. He's got 2 babies.
Oh, did you need to go there?
That's fine, you're not in the way. Are you folks into art? Somebody draw? You draw? How long have you been doing that? Since you were a kid? You're still a kid to me. Comic art?
I've been trying for a while.
Who's your favorite working artist? You can say these guys, but I'll know you're just sucking up, so. No, somebody from Marvel or DC or whoever you're into.
I don't have a favorite one right now.
There's no wrong answer. Although Jack Kirby's always the right answer. How about you? You got a favorite comic artist,
I
anybody?
can't think of the artist's name, but Lady Gaga.
He's used a number of different artists over time.
The guy that's normally.
Well, he's the publisher and the writer. He doesn't draw the book. Brian Polito. He's actually not here yet.
At least for that style.
Sort of bad girl.
I was gonna say the artist guy was the actual artist.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's got this here at home. I don't know
How about you, Mr. Green? You have a in Green reading your email? Here, I'll just sit down next to you and talk. Do you have a favorite comic artist?
Favorite comic artist? Not really, no. No, I can't say I really have a favorite.
Well, this is going nowhere, for God's sake.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, Josh, tell me, who's your favorite?
Well, my favorite
Yeah.
is Katsuhiro Otomo, who did Akira, which is like a manga.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But one of my favorites is Steve Dillon, who passed away yesterday.
Yes, 54 years old.
He was
Ooh,
too
no.
young. He worked on Preacher.
He's the artistic creator.
He was a co-creator on that. He also, I think, wasn't he on Punisher now too?
Yeah, he did him in
He did
Index.
He did a run on Punisher.
He did, yeah, an older one too. Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Mike Mignola's a great artist.
Mike Mignola.
Who you worked with?
Yeah, I can't say I discovered it, but I made him start.
I think it was
Who did the art for the Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern?
either Doug Mankey, Ethan Van Sciver. There was a bunch of different artists on that.
Because the
Dan
Blackest,
Skyver is probably the one who did most of it.
the
Yeah.
Blackest Night's one of my favorite series, both in story and in art.
Yeah, Doug Mankey did a lot of art.
He did a lot of The Darkest Night,
Mhm.
right? So,
And some of the, somebody that's very similar to him is this guy Patrick Gleason, who's working on Superman right now. He actually studied
well, actually,
under
maybe
Doug.
in action.
Yeah.
He's drawing one of the Superman books. And very well as well.
Mhm. So if you like that art style, that's a book, because Mankey isn't really doing anything lately, and is Van Skyver working on renaming still?
He's working off and on.
I just got the DC rewrite software.
Personally, I just don't like his work. It's like, it's serviceable, but it's like,
It's very shiny.
he's like the Toyota Corolla of artists. It's like, yeah, that's a car.
It's good enough, but not great.
Yeah, it's like in the same way, like,
It gets you to the train station.
the Corolla's a car. This guy was an artist, you know? Like, I mean, I don't mean to, like, he's doing more work than I am, but it's like, I don't know. There's no, like, I love Darwin Cook, you know, who also
Who
passed
also
away.
passed away. At the same
big
age,
fan of,
54 as
yeah,
well.
Kirby and Alex Toth and, you know, like, you guys
Do
like Alex
you guys who
Raymond.
want to be artists know who Alex Toth is?
Yeah, look up Alex Toth, look up Alex Raymond, Milton Caniff. These guys
These are comic strip
yeah,
artists.
Yeah, Caniff and
Alex
Alex
Raymond
Raymond.
created Flash Gordon. You heard of Flash Gordon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Alex Raymond's use of flat black is second to none. It is so,
Especially later,
tricks you into
like Rick
thinking.
Kirby and.
Yeah, he tricks you into thinking that all the detail is there, and it's almost a complete silhouette. It's like a silhouette with like two little lines kind of.
Kniff in a different way.
Yeah, Kniff has a better.
Draws
different-
with
yeah.
shadow.
Exactly. So those two guys are great, Reeves Black, and then just for straight up like linear, like, you know, because Alex Toth had done a lot of the Hanna-Barbera stuff, like the Mighty Mike Tour, the Herculoid, Space Ghost, Johnny Quest. And
Designed a
so,
lot.
yeah,
Designed a lot.
and he worked on Thunder the Barbarian that Kirby then took over and did a little bit of work for. But he's got a CC Beck kind of like where he just outlines characters more than he like over renders like every muscle. And,
Toth, you mean?
yeah, Toth
It's
does.
very expressionist.
Yeah, Toth Toth is a great, like he pushes that kind of cartoony. And
He started that style of inking too, where like not everything connects, but you still in your mind interpret it as being a one whole
Because it's
thing.
cartoony and you will read.
And then a dude like Lou Fine's great. He the original artist on the Ray, which
And Black Condor. And
yeah,
a bunch of stuff.
and Lou Fine's another guy whose work you'll look
You
at
guys
now.
writing this down is really.
Yeah.
Google this stuff. I'm not
Yeah, these are
kidding.
great artists.
Google this stuff and you'll see great comic. We get into the '60s and Kirby, Ditko,
Hubert.
Kubert, Joe Kubert. What's that? It's okay. She didn't speak. She didn't. Did you say you like love Kubert?
I love
Well, we're talking about Joe Kubert, I think not
I know.
the video game character, but thank you. Maybe that was named in honor.
Trooper, yeah.
There are no stupid questions. People always say that. They're always wrong, but they say it.
What about Art Crumb? Anything he draws, I'd take a look at quickly.
Robert?
Robert
That's what
Crumb,
you like
yeah.
to call him?
Yeah, Robert
Is that
Crumb.
the rat thing guy?
No, that's someone else.
Ed Roth.
That's,
Oh, okay.
he's Mr. Natural.
Mr. Natural,
Fritz the Cat.
Fritz the Cat.
That's probably before your time.
Someday in a crowd that.
Hey, I still love Wallace Wood. I still love Jack Cole. I still love things that happened before I was
Oh,
Jack
Jack
Cole created Plastic Man.
I just picked up the
Jack Cole also did all of the art for Playboys. So,
Yeah.
A lot
He was
of them.
developing a strip and.
Him and Vargas.
Right.
Jack Cole, I think IDW just put out the Jack Cole horror book, like where it's all his horror stuff. Dude, there's so much good
And it's
stuff.
from the
in there.
1940s, so it's relatively tame, but it's wild.
Yeah, it's pre-code, but
Just
it's,
like Ditko's extra dimensional horror stuff that did for creepy. It's like you wonder exactly how much LSD they were taking.
and that was the good stuff too.
It was good, yeah.
Before the man stepped on.
Before it got diluted, yeah.
I love that we have this soundtrack to draw to.
Yeah, we do. We have, is it still 8-bit or whatever?
Yeah, it's also like that.
8-bit, it's the name of my band, I think.
Oh.
From now on. Since I can't play any music at all, it would work, because it doesn't sound like it. I've got an opinion on everything.
God, are you gonna tell these kids to get off your lawn?
Later.
That's harsh.
Maybe.
They ain't over yet.
It's a standing gag, so.
Was the last like dance move you did the twist?
What's that?
Was the last dance move you did the twist?
That too, see, I did that for a while. You know, the Adam West thing. The last dance I did the white guy dance. That's the only dance I've ever done. You know, it involves a
Adam West,
twitch and a, yeah.
I ran into Kevin Conroy on the streets of New York while I was there, just randomly walking out.
He said, I didn't already know.
He actually was like, I might have sworn a little bit and said, "Oh yes, you're Kevin Conroy." He goes, "Yeah, yes, I am." And he he turns on the Batman because he knows that's exactly what people want to hear from him.
How are you, citizen?
And I might have squeaked a little bit. Yeah.
That's right. I clicked on Facebook and Kevin Conroy was asking to be my pal.
Oh, nice.
And I thought, wow. And I thought, well, you know,
You must have heard about the
I'm
article.
famous too, so. Not famous.
No, it's not.
Okay, that's the thing that cracks me up, and I don't mean in a negative way. People get into conversations, especially now that we have a new Batman, right? What's the guy's name? Affleck?
You guys don't seem excited about that.
Dude, Ben Affleck was a redneck, don't you know?
I like
I would fight anybody in this room.
I will back him up, and I have
He's
to
way better than I
say,
thought he'd be.
so- No, I actually think he's terrific, and the footage I've seen. Did you hear what the title of his Batman
The
movie is?
Batman.
The Batman, see?
Can't go wrong with that title.
What's that?
Can't go wrong with that title.
Well, you probably could, but
I don't know. They won't be wrong with that movie.
what he's saying is.
Is he going to use a gun to like make his coffee in the morning in that movie?
What's that?
Because his gun is kind of the go-to in that movie.
Well,
He
you
only
know,
uses it
I
once.
like to tell people, or remind people, that the dynamic of the DC Cinematic Universe has changed radically.
I'm not being any
They
kind of
brought,
curious.
no, I'm just saying, they brought Jeff Johns in because they wanted it lightened up.
You know, my problem is not only that they don't understand the emotional core of the characters, and so but their only success has been Batman, and so they've gotten this weird Batmanification of the DC universe. So basically, Superman has become Flying Batman. It's that it was a bad movie to begin with.
Which one are you talking about?
Batman versus Superman. It is shot poorly. He was
Which one
always
are you
weird.
talking about?
Batman versus Superman.
Which one? Theatrical or?
It doesn't matter. They're shot poorly.
Look, it's
Ultimate Edition is hands
He's still using all of those long lenses to film people.
Because
Like,
I like
finds
what you
out
said
Amy
about-
Adams is an attractive woman. All the costuming
Lens
is
flare.
Yeah, all the costuming is ill-fitting for some weird reason. I mean, it's like people like she's an attractive woman, and to make her look as unattractive as he is, like a lot. He had to go out of his way to do that.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams,
The
right?
redhead.
He shoots her with all these long lenses, so she's very flat. He shoots everyone with long lenses because he's used to shooting in that cinema
He
scope.
wants to shoot the.
Yeah, so he shoots people that way, and so he flattens everybody's out. Their costumes are ill-fitting. Like fake tattoos look like they're Sharpied on. You look at that action sequence where he puts the tracker on the guy, but then chases him anyway. What does the tracker do for you? Which is just a continuity error. But then there's all these weird smash cut, all these zoom cuts. Like we have no idea who's trying to get where they are.
You didn't know we were gonna get into
It's
cinema.
a poorly made movie, not let alone the fact that they take
Everything you could possibly want out of a panel.
They really take the emotional core of who these characters are and puts that aside for something that's like, oh, we're going to do grim and gritty, not really for grim and gritty's sake, but because that's the only thing that's worked for them. I understand the motivation. It's just poorly constructed, ill-conceived, and then executed very poorly. You know, I mean, I want to like a Batman movie. The only redeeming qualities of that are Diana. She comes across as regal and unimpressed with these two male power fantasies that are put in
Or I mean,
yeah.
That's her.
What's really accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm super unimpressed too. I'm like, yeah, these are both petulant children with superpowers who are both playing out their fantasies of their adolescent helplessness. I mean, it's just.
I feel like in again, as the creator of most Elseworlds things,
You know what, I
you
wish
could
we'd
appreciate.
think more about this stuff, so we could have a fully formed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just playing it. Yeah, because I'm not just like, oh, he used a gun and all. Yeah,
Hold
okay.
it back.
That is such a minor detail to why it was a poor movie, but no, it's a bad movie.
It is an endemic
Yeah.
issue, there's a lot of sloppiness.
Yeah, and honestly, with I just want to see a little more careful. You know, honestly, all I want to see is Superman save the goddamn day. Like, I really, that's all I want to see.
That's what you were saying about Phoenix.
Yeah, you know, he's such he's become this emblem of Americans' opinions of itself, and he's gone from immigrant made good to this weird world policeman to now the guy who has to make tough decisions that involve collateral damage. And yeah, I got that in my everyday life. I've got my president having to drop drones on people, on civilians to get the bad guys. And, like, I have enough of that. What I don't have is an emblem of hope that can find the right thing to do, even when it's two bad options. He finds a third one that somehow does right by everybody. If I'm going to have an ideal, I want an ideal. If I want some gray-shaded, nuanced, leader who has to make tough decisions, like, we're going to elect one of them, you know? if I want fallibility, I've got, billions of those people on this planet. If I want some paradigm of what we could be as a people if we all did the right thing, I want Superman. I want Superman.
I love the idea of these, as you say, the immigrant done
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's
Made good.
he comes from two, immigrant families that's
Right.
that were trying to wrestle with the notions of what it meant to be American, and they used the idea of their differences being their strength, and the country was comprised of a lot of immigrants at the time, and that's why it probably did as well as it did.
All the creators were children of immigrants.
Yeah. So, man.
And, they
Look,
were the house of.
I'm not going to take away from anyone who enjoys that movie. I already ruined Hook for my wife, so.
Can you actually ruin it?
Oh, she posited the theory that it was a good movie, yeah, and I had to disassemble it in front of her, and it's just like telling her there was no Santa Claus. It was terrible, which she also took poorly.
Yes. You still sound proud of yourself. You're still justifying the hell out of it.
I kind of learned now I just let her enjoy stuff.
Wow.
But
See, I think you should like. Let me tell you what's wrong with that.
yeah. Like I don't argue religion because I'm an atheist. Like if it helps you sleep at night, that's fine. But for the most part, yeah.
If you're an atheist, you must say it's impossible. Shut up.
No. Don't put me. I'm not gonna be pigeonholed into your idea of what atheism should be. But
I don't believe in atheism.
But I do have nothing exists. I do hold a certain amount of religious zealotry for my comic book characters. Treat them sacred.
What is your comic book character?
My character?
Yeah.
He's a MAH00085. He's a Mexican wrestler who
He's a luchador.
Luchador. He's a once champion luchador who makes a Faustian bargain with or he's betrayed by his friends and unmasked in the ring, and then he makes a Faustian bargain with a mysterious promoter to get a new power and a new identity. But like all good Faustian bargains in comic books, he finds out it's not quite what he thought it was. And so he's trying to free himself from the bargain, still get his revenge, but also remain the person that he knows himself to be. And it all happens in this like swanky 1960s Mexico that never really happened. Yeah, if you watch like old Lucha Libre movies, like you look at the apartments of like El Santo and Blue Demon and these like very kind of Cash McCall-esque. You guys know Cash McCall, James Garner movie, Natalie Wood? Brilliant, yeah. Cash McCall has the most 60s of 60s apartments. Like if you, just Google search Cash McCall and they'll show some interior shot from his apartment, and it is so swanky. But all of those like
Jack Lemmon's apartment, the New York apartment, and How to Murder Your Wife.
Oh yeah. It's just all as sleek and fancy as it ever got. Even though America never really looked like that, Mexico really leaned into the fact that that's what they thought America was. It's pretty fantastic. So yeah, it is this kind of swanky Mexico. And so
set up downstairs?
So here, let me tell you that. So apologies to anyone who went looking for me. I didn't know I had a table until today when I arrived, and they said, oh, your table number is AA719. So I haven't been here all weekend. It was a wedding because I didn't really think I thought I was only doing panels. And so I'm going to go I have a panel after this, and I'm just going to go sit at that table because all I have is a pencil. And I'm going to just do sketches. If you guys want to sketch or something, come on by. Apologies for anyone who came there looking for me to be doing sketches or to be doing
They can find your book.
So that's
all right.
They can find your character book where?
It's at castleandkeypublications.com. Or if you just Google search La Mano del Destino.
La Mano del Destino.
La Mano del Destino. I'm trying to make
I
this.
think you're the iconic character thing on it.
Yeah.
So Josh gave you this with.
It should be L, but I was talking to him about this. If you look like those video cards, it's La Mano, you go to the bathroom, it's like Las Manos. It should be La Mano. But for whatever reason.
I just people want to say thank you.
Hey, no problem. I got you.
For whatever reason, it is La Mano. And I don't know why, it just breaks the
You like the
rules.
sound of it.
Hey,
Ah.
I appreciate
It's your book, damn it.
Oh, let me give you.
Yeah, exactly. I can just make it say whatever I want. But I can just make Batman use a gun if I want to.
We have your art in
That's
progress.
fine. It's not. That's not the
You
point.
guys want to suggest a sketch for Josh?
I have an idea.
Saves the day.
It doesn't, it's like, it's going to the banks and get it all, and
Yeah.
just smiles, and that's why I go see
It's at that final point where you don't think she's gonna make it, and it's like before the turning point where she ends up winning the battle. It's where the enemy like says, seems like she has the upper hand, everything's going wrong. It's right before all of a sudden everything turns good.
That never actually moment.
That's already a comment.
It's
push that. We got 10 minutes left.
10 minutes?
We don't have anything immediately on our heels, so.
So your panel after this.
My panel's after this.
Yeah, so we don't, nothing we care about.
Okay, good. Well played, sir, well played.
Question.
So am I doing like turn into like whooping boys kind of?
Yeah.
like that motion
She's
company
maybe down,
mechanical
but,
gas.
you know, the flames are low.
Night is young, nights are old.
That's right.
I have a question.
He's almost out of power.
I have an
Yes.
answer.
So I've been to panels where I've watched American comic book artists draw comics. I've also been to Anime Expo, and I had the privilege of watching one of the illustrators for Clannad draw one of those characters. And seeing the two, it's interesting to me that, yeah, I understand the art style is different, but the way that they draw versus the way American comic artists draw seems to be different.
They
They work very small too as well.
They
right?
work 8.5 by 11, whereas
Yeah.
we work 11 by 17. Not only that,
They also have like a studio system that we don't have, so
They
they'll go
do.
apprentice under a guy who kind of shows them how to draw, and so.
it's like a thing out there, like a trade that's accepted as a trade. Where like here we have like Joe Kubert's school in New Jersey, and that's the only comic book art school there is, and it's extremely.
I think RISD has a program now,
Yeah.
and a few others, but,
So it's
yeah.
blossoming. And then like they have assistants over there, so most people are usually extremely specialized, like they know exactly, like for Akira, he had a multitude of assistants where he would just be like, all right, in the background, building C with window panes A and F. And they would like look at the chart that he had drawn out like window panes, and they would go in and do it for him. And they also have like a weekly schedule, whereas we have monthly, and it's usually divvied up, so like it'll be like penciler, inker, colorist, or with them, it's, you need to have 12 pages in 3 days, or you're fired.
Right.
Because I think Paul Pope went over there and worked.
Felipe Smith did.
And Felipe Smith did as well. Like both of them have said like it's crazy, like it's absolutely insane in comparison. So they, like he's drawn, you can draw for how long? Like just
Like as a professional?
Yeah.
Or just, man, probably, been a professional creator since '83.
yeah, and I've been doing this like 4 or 5 years. And so like he can sketch out something way quicker than I can sketch out something because I'm not used to having to do this as quickly as they, and it's like, he'd probably go to Japan and be like steamrolled because it's, even then, it's like you have to get this done in a couple days
Right.
so that you get it printed. Dr.
I'm pretty sure it was me.
I know it wasn't us because they asked us to
Yeah,
draw
that's
some.
we were both like,
Yeah, a little busy.
It's blazed with a, it looks like a chicken.
It's a little baby phoenix. Oh, Super Chicken. You guys watch Super Chicken? It's a great show. I did a Mirror Tribe not that long ago. Yeah, I love it. You need to drop it.
They also kind of made her really white. Their voice is Navajo, right?
she's Navajo, right?
Yeah, I guess.
What are we talking about?
Blaze.
With
Well, it's, you know, it's only 2 colors, 3 colors.
Hey, you know what? White people need characters too, okay?
Yes.
How can we
Very
continue to oppress if we don't steal?
The white man finally getting a break.
I'm never gonna let us do this ever.
I'd like to see them stop
Somebody's gonna
us.
go, how dare you?
Help yourself to some free comics. They gave me comics.
Oh,
Prizes, but none of you guys win anything, so I'll just let you have this. There'll be a pile of comics to pick through. You guys already had a shot, right?
Yeah.
And you got buttons too, right?
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you guys.
Oh,
Quick,
My age was 42, and that's right, and you know it.
I do, I agree, I entirely.
oh, not
You
Hitchhiker's
guys
Guide.
any tips doing like, the frontal shots, like, you did earlier?
Full frontal shots?
Yeah. I prefer the same.
That's kind of how I do them.
Yeah, and then I was raised in the 70s and 80s, so I like the full one. No, pursuit is the word I'm looking
Are
for.
you mansplaining manscaping?
Yeah. Yeah. I love nothing I love more than explaining to a woman and explaining things. How so? Like, just like I mean, there's proportion guides out there, you know, the human body is like 7.5 heads high, it's, you know, 3 heads wide.
I guess my biggest problem is symmetry with it. And
I find symmetry almost totally boring, unless Wes Anderson's doing it. And,
Good effect or not.
yeah. Yeah, so I find asymmetrical balance just has a better like feel to it.
it's more organic.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do symmetry, you know, like fold a piece of paper. Like I do that all the time. Like
Or,
the shirt she's wearing, like the symmetry in that. I literally, the original of that, I folded the paper in half so that when I made the letters, they were balanced on both sides, and I could just fold them in half and see how they against them. Just work on tracing paper, fold tracing paper in half. Piece of paper is also really easy to erase, you know. So I usually nowadays on my comic, I've been working a lot with I'll rule out my piece of paper and I'll put my panel borders in because I have thumbnails that I've done already for workout layouts, and then like I put I'll rule the borders onto my paper just in pencil, and then I'll take tracing paper over the front of it, and I get real loose on blocking everything out, maybe a little bit refined, but I don't put stuff like along those max details or kind of like the little the things that hold his cape, and you know, just kind of like where the trunk line is going to be, where the belt line is going to be, where the shoulders and arms are, and then once that's all done, I'll tape it to the backside of my box so that I've got like a loose layout. And if I need to do anything symmetrical, I'll literally just do half of it, trace half of it, flip it over on my light box and trace the other half.
Yeah.
It's symmetrical.
Just like Jeff Darrow does that too.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though his stuff doesn't look like it looks very symmetrical, like
All right, here's
just
my,
the composition as a whole is very symmetrical.
yeah.
Because again, like it doesn't matter. You don't want anything perfect.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, Anderson does it. Wes Anderson shoots
Shoots
very well. I like that kind of symmetry, but it really kind of has to have a reason to be that straight on, in my opinion. Everything you draw in the comic should have a reason, you know. There are service panels that are just kind of there to.
It's like cover art almost.
Yeah, but not even that. Like that's a little too dynamic. The cover art has to tell. Cover art has to tell a story. I'm gonna just dip out.
Yeah, I think that's the last.
Yeah, so cover art has to kind of encapsulate the story. It's not even a pinup, right? So there's a lot of information that has to come across. So each panel within a page has to work well within the page design-wise. And you don't want like tangents coming from one panel to the next. You don't want the action in the panel to reverse the direction that the reader's reading in. So you want it to all kind of flow in a direction. You know, so when you're doing that, you know, everything should kind of like, it should, design-wise, it should work well with the page should work well with the page next to it, the panel should work well within the page, the panel layout should work well within that page and the one next to it. And then within those, I mean, every one of those should have a reason, right? Like if you're having a conversation with some people, like, you know, you can have two people side profile. I tend to only do that when people are kind of equals in the panel, like of stature and importance within the story, and who's making more, you know, equal in what points they're making. But typically, when you're having a conversation, if someone's speaking, I'll go over the shoulder on them, and you see the reaction of the person talking, and that way, you kind of they become a proxy for the reader, but you can kind of like assert the reader, you can kind of feel like you're the person, you're the main character talking. Also, if it's like someone who's being spoken down to a little, it's with a higher angle on that, or someone being elevated with a low angle on that. Just visual interest too, you know, what's like, when you want when someone just like as a newscaster looking into the camera, you know. Todd did a great job of that in Spawn when he went through and had his like the newscaster, as did Frank Miller, which he ripped that off from The Dark Knight with the newscasters. But it's a rarity that we even see people interact that way, right?
Actually, Shaken came up with
Oh yeah, with the
American flag.
Yeah. There's another guy you should look up, Howard Shaken. And there's a guy who just works at it. This guy. Sorry, I just called him out. Negative Steve's out there. Everyone say hi to Negative Steve on his way out.
Where's your panel, by the way?
It is Lucha Libre, so if you guys like wrestling, hang out. We're doing a Lucha Libre panel. It should be fun.
We are at the end here, but we're going to let Josh finish Amanda's sketch.
Yeah, and then again, if you want a sketch from me that's maybe less rushed, I'm an AA00085, so you have it on my hand. And I'll be there. There's nothing there now, but my name is misspelled. Yeah, there's no S in my last name.
J-A-Y.
No, it just says Jason Gonzalez with the S at the end instead of Z, which, you know, as someone who has their name constantly misspelled, it does.
It's just weird.
Give out your website.
Yeah, you're
stuff
paying.
again.
It's castleandkeypublications.com.
Castle and Key.
Publications is plural. Publications.com. Yeah, and there's links to my social media there. You can go to J Gonzo Designs if you want to. There's stuff's there, but it's like my portfolio, so I try and get jobs. So I don't know how compelling it is to see the rebrand I did for the Coyotes campaign.
Jay Gonzalez.
Hey, Coyotes fans, check it out. I got some good work in it.
And Josh, may they find your work someplace?
Yeah, I'm all over everything as,
Yeah.
so Lucifer, just spell Lucifer, but instead of a U, use a V, and then put an X at the end of that.
Huh?
That's clear.
Can you spell it one more time?
So it's like LVCIFERX. And like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, I'm all over all of that.
Snapchat?
Do you have any questions?
Yeah,
while we're
I'm
on
also-
Snapchat? Any more questions?
If you could work on any comic book, anime, or manga,
Batman and Dragon Ball Z.
that's all alphabet.
I felt like I was a spotlight. That
I'm gonna go wannabes. I really have a good wannabes. I'm not even joking.
I've seen it.
Yeah. I want to make that wannabes happen.
I'll get it.
No.
And Spider-Man officer.
I can walk with
Wannabe
legs.
Spider-Man in a big way.
Oh,
She has legs, it turns out.
she can
And
get.
hardboard at that.
See, you're spoiling us.
I do like the 3 shirts of Marty McFly that she's actually wearing, because he didn't
Yeah.
wear like,
And
he
I
didn't
don't
wear all of
see
them.
it.
And yeah.
But do you have the underwear?
Dude, where'd you get that watch from?
There's
Well,
this
that's-
kid, do you know,
Really, it's seriously.
No,
How much it cost you?
there's this kid, Bailey
How much
Brown.
was it?
Lives here.
I'm gonna get, I really want to know, is it Casio?
Yeah.
He does,
Cassie,
Marty
check
McFly.
their watch.
Yes, everyone has those
He has
forever.
the underwear and the
I brought
socks
it to
and the
work,
watch.
and my acid collection was like,
Like-
that is the best thing I've seen all day.
I don't know who's
Like,
figuring
I
that
was like,
out.
oh, need this.
That is great. I had one of those when I was like,
In case they do
something.
If he has an accident, they'll know.
Like, where did you get underwear from the 80s? Like, how did you find it?
We're done.
From resale shops, but who wants to wear someone else's underwear?
True.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming.
Oh,
I have more buttons if anybody wants to take some for friends, family, whatever. There's a box of them here. What are you laughing at?
huh?
All the stuff is okay, cool, thanks.
We'll get some buttons. I'll get some buttons.
Yeah, they're right here.
All right.
As you leave, or if you want to hang around for Luchador, but I have more Blaze buttons if you want to get your friends. You
Okay.
don't mind if I give them away, do you?
They weren't,
No.
we only have half an hour.
Okay.
I was gonna say, do you want to take them down to your booth?
I'll take them down.
Oh, I give you one of my pictures
Okay.
if you want it.
All right.
I got my name on the back.
Very cute.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted to give every one of you, but I don't have that many.
Oh, it's cool. I got too much stuff in my.
I know. Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's really very nice. I like
Thank you.
it.
That's the
Thank
stuff
you
I
so
do.
much.
Oh, you're welcome. I figured I'll see you again, so
Yeah, I'm always around. Can't get rid of me. Good news.
The what? The Lucha Libre.